A high-level delegation from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations was shown what Dunedin has to offer economically last month. It was all in a bid to foster business connections between New Zealand and the ASEAN group. But it may be some time until a business relationship is built and real benefits are felt. Here to tell us more about the visit is Chamber of Commerce President for Otago, Peter McIntyre. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Now, the ASEAN ambassadors were here for 3 days. Did they get a good view of how our city is performing economically?
Oh, absolutely. And also the hinterland, I must add. Basically, they toured some of our businesses, the university and the polytech, particularly some of our high-tech businesses, the likes of Pacific Edge Biotechnology. They went down to Telford. So they're very interested in the food, education, tourism sectors. So they spent 3 days. They obviously had a number of meetings as well, but they also experienced our peninsula from a tourism perspective. So yeah, they had a really good visit. And when I spoke to them, yeah, they were very happy of what they saw. The weather was beautiful while they were here too, which was always good.
It's always a bonus.
It is indeed.
Tell us about the size of the ASEAN group of countries and how many people might be contained within those countries.
Well, it's a 10-member nation. There's around 600 million people that live within that region. It's a $2.7 trillion economy, has one of the fastest growth rates in the world, and a growing middle class. So, you know, it's ideal for New Zealand with its food bowl and its high-tech nature of some of its businesses to export into. So, yeah, it's going to be a big market. It's going to be a growing market, and in some regards, sort of outpacing China as far as growth is concerned.
What would some of the benefits to Dunedin be if we made a connection with this group?
Well, obviously, as I said, a growing middle class, a growing wealth factor. They need some of the products and services that we make, but also some of the technology that we have with regards to a university and polytech. So if we can leverage off those, you know, it's got to be positive. But at this stage, it's an early relationship, and I suspect that'll be a growing one over time.
Did the group indicate that they would make it easier for us to do business in their countries?
Well, in 2010, New Zealand signed a free trade agreement. So the ease of business within that group is obviously a lot better than what it was prior to 2010. But, you know, we have to develop relationships. And some of the feedback that I got, particularly from some of the participants, was that, you know, Otago's a small market for them. So, you know, we have to focus, narrow in on niche opportunities, I think, is the way to go, particularly in that region.
How long do you think it will take to build a relationship that might see a payoff?
$64 million question, Rebecca. And we've seen with Shanghai, it takes a long, long time to develop relationships. So I suspect we really need to get into gear now and to take opportunity of what we've had with the meeting so far. But yeah, look, you know, it's not a short-term fix, it's not a short-term plan, it's a long-term plan with incremental steps along the way, and that'll be great for us.
Is there a plan in place? What happens now?
Well, we've already seen the Philippines ambassador come back to Dunedin twice and talk about economic zones and what's happening there. So we've established relationships. The next port of call would be for possibly a delegation to go to the region to make contact and start developing some relationships from a Dunedin perspective with a targeted city possibly within that group. So, but yeah, it's exciting for us.
Yeah, watch this space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otago Chamber of Commerce President Peter McIntyre, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Rebecca.